Today I'm actually going to tell you the results of my 85 to 10% battery test. The weather over the last few days has been about 20 degrees Celsius, been pretty mild, warm weather, and this is almost peak summer here in Atlanta, Canada, Charlottetown, PI. Over the last few days, I've topped up my battery to 85% and I've ran it down to 10% or nearest to and topped it back up to 85%. Basically using 75% of the battery range and not going up to 100%. That is the healthiest way to use your battery. It does mean that you will need access to level 2 charging, and I think that more people who live in multi-residential unit buildings should have access to level 2 charging. So they should be talking to their property manager in order to install level 2 slow chargers at the places where they sleep. That is the first place that you'd like to charge. If you can't charge where you sleep, charge where you work, and we need more workplaces to actually put in these level 2 chargers. So what does 6 hours or what does 8 hours on a level 2 charger, a slow charger, look like? What does 8 hours or what does that look like on a level 1 charger, and how much range can we get? So a level 2 charger, it's not a high investment compared to a DC charger. We should not think about daily running and quickly refilling up like a gas car. We were volunteering at Camp Buckin. We were planting some trees, so you'll see me going into a Segway with the scouts there. So it takes us far longer to dig into some roots with the little guys, but it was fun while we did it, so check that out.
All right, let's go look in the bush then. There will be. All right, so
Okay.
Nico or Ja, which one of you guys wants to go first over there?
I'll take this one.
If anything, I might help you start the whole thing. That was over where we got the trees from, but you can leave. Just drop the shovel. Don't let it hit me though. You got it? It's on 2 hands. All right, now for your bowl, you got all this roots and now you're going to go
Oh, yeah.
So I'd say we have to move a little bit.
Chainsaw.
Do you see those roots in there?
Yeah. Oh, my.
I'd say the trees behind.
This is Casey.
Hello.
Casey.
Pleasure to meet you. Hello.
And you work with him. He'll give you.
说汉语吗？
哦，
可以啊。
呀，
我可以说一点汉语啊。
哇，你说的很好啊，
一点啊。
非常好，非常好。
因为我住在台湾，我学机械工程那里啊，所以4年我住那边。
住台湾住了4年。
对。
OK。
我读书那边。
哦，OK。
All right, how you boys doing? Let me see how it's coming along. Oh, super. I can get ahead on post.
Yeah.
After after the camping, the next day I did not have a video of that. I actually went out to the Glasgow Lobster Suppers, and you'll see how far that is from town, still on that same battery percentage. And the day after that was Father's Day, and we went out to Victoria by the Sea. And here you'll see a time lapse of that drive. We didn't film driving out to have lunch, but you'll see the drive back into town. And altogether, that 250 kilometers, that were, and the efficiency observed and the energy used, that you can see I put 22 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers into my energy calculator, and you'll see how much that cost me to charge up at home versus if you had a hybrid car or a gas car. And again, I put 6 to 8 liters per 100 if you were driving one of these cars. That's because highway driving. Worst case scenario for the EV versus best case scenario for your car. Want to point out that on my second charge, when I plugged in, note that there was an error in the charge. It still did take 8 hours, but it did not register the 12% that actually plugged in at. So that being said, you'll see the charge here from 12% all the way up to 85%, and see that energy, that 52 kilowatts added in. And that 52 kilowatts took me more or less 270 kilometers in real world conditions. So you can do all of this, you can go that far in the highway, and I think there's a good use case for saying that technology is there. I don't think you can really say that EVs aren't ready yet. I think that the real honest answer is that you're not ready to make your leap. However, I want to point out, by doing these videos, doing these ranges, and hopefully they fit within some of your use case scenarios, and you might have a very similar use case scenario like me, and you'll see that you can make it work, and you don't need to worry about DC fast charging at all, and you also don't need to worry about charging every night. The last part that I'll talk about is actually there's a bonus day in there before I actually plug in and charge. So I did not actually plug in and charge immediately after the long trip. I had about a day's worth of charge. I was still around 18%, which I did not want to plug in yet. I wanted to get closer to 10%. So that had a full other day of driving around, and I did not include in that 250 kilometers that you see on the picture map. Basically, I have an entire 20 or so, 25 kilometers extra on top of that, so the car was even more efficient than you see me using those calculations where I use that 52 kilowatts of energy. So